Yo, 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 MMXM review. How y'all doing? And let's get right into it. Basically, today I saw two models that I thought were okay, and then other than that, I don't think that there was like too much opportunity. You know, it's a Friday. We kind of had classic expansion all week, and then we're just putting that wick on the daily candle. That's what, or on the weekly candle. That's what I think the main use was of today. We're just putting that wick in on the day on the weekly candle. You know, we have expansion all week, and then we come up, we hit our key level, we liquidate this high. Let's pull up ES as well and NYM just so we can see what they were probably spooling forward. We reach our level, and then we come up, we put a wick in. You know, we've had expansion all week. It's like it's TJF, I believe, but we come in, we reach our level, and then we put in a wick. We put in a wick. So what happened? How could we have traded it, and what were the good opportunities? So if we look in London, actually, there was maybe a decent trade here, a little pullback to that 5 minute imbalance. You maybe could have taken that along with the order block. Maybe you weren't really looking at that. You can wait for more confirmation. Displacement higher, fair value gap here to target here, and then maybe here as well. That could have been an okay trade, and then London kind of goes away. We generate liquidity here. We leave stacked highs. Come back down to a 15-minute fair value gap to then have, you know, that nice little IRL to ERL. At market open, it was a little bit harder here, but we get market structure shift. Do we have SMT here? I already know that we have SMT here, at least with YM. All right, there's kind of the SMT. It's not the cleanest in the world. Yeah, SMT. Then we get bought up, and then we liquidate all these highs. Okay, so at this point in time, we have reached the draw on liquidity, in my opinion, for the whole week. And this is what I'm just looking. I'm just being patient, and I think that we could possibly sell off to this low, you know, because look at the daily profile, and this is what I want to bring up is this daily profile that we had. We have no manipulation in Asia or London. There was no manipulation in Asia or London. There's no meaningful manipulation. If we zoom out, sorry, not zoom in. Asia didn't really engage a higher time frame PD rate. Maybe this consequent encroachment of that wick. Other than that, we're just coming into this 1 hour fair value gap here. Or no, that's the one that we created. Sorry, I'm tweaking. I guess we did engage. We did engage this 1 hour civvy, but we're coming into taking this high here, and we've left these generated lows here. So a short here actually would have been pretty nice. You know, it is ERL to IRL, so I don't love it. But let's see. I did think that it was kind of nice on NQ. If we break it down, we pull up, we're slowing down. Short term high, liquidity sweep, intermediate term high, then short term high here, displacement lower. Confirming this intermediate term high is put in place. We then get a pullback to fair value gap barely, and then taper off, fair value gap, taper off, fair value gap, taper off, and then you have that silver bullet. So what I really want to do, bring attention to, is this standard deviation projection was literally perfect. It's perfect. If we look at this in terms of market maker models, then I'm gonna also use the swing grading tool as well. From the terminus of this to the start. At 0.25, you're expecting your low risk entry. Right here would be your low risk entry. You have your low risk entry, and then we get displacement lower. We come all the way back up. We barely don't come up into this area of fair value. We come all the way back up. We barely come in here. This is that reaccumulation zone on standard deviation. We come into the reaccumulation zone. Then we taper off again. And look at where we pull back to. This area of fair value here. To then taper off lower. This also is at -2 to -2.5. We draw this out in time. We displace through it, come back, and then that's when we have our silver bullet right to -4, right to -4, right to -4. So this was the sell model that I kind of liked. You had sell side of the curve here, buy side of the curve here. But I think that in terms of that target, that -4, I feel like that -4 deviation level is pretty much just hindsight. I wouldn't really look to use this as like a target than a -4 especially. I would more use a low like here as a target and a low like here. So I think that this -4 might be a little bit cherry picked. So we'll condense it to H of low, because I feel like that's a little bit better target. So even here you have your lower risk entry at 50%. You're expecting a stop hunt become 50%, and we actually retrace a little bit, and then there's your stop hunt here. You get stop hunt, displacement, fair value gap, -1.1.5, reaccumulation. And then yeah, we end up having that silver bullet right here in that 0.75 level, leaving breakaway gaps here. Now that was the little market maker model that I saw. And then if we zoom into here right now, I'm expecting to see some form of run on stops. We've had AM session. We just had that AM session reversal. I'm expecting and anticipating to see some form of run on stops. We then have this SMT here. And we don't really have any displacement higher. It's kind of just slower action here. Why? It's a Friday. Weekly candles about to close. We've been expanding all week. Now, don't really expect too much on a day like this. You have your SMT here. Then we get displacement higher. This fair value gap I thought would have been a nice entry. You have all these generated highs here. And it just shows you the delivery of price today. Like, we're still going to deliver to the draw and liquidity. It's just going to be a little bit slower. And I do like an entry here. Putting your stop at the low here. And then targeting these highs here. I was originally looking to maybe try and get involved up here. Looking back, just wait for retracements. Just wait for retracements to those fair value gaps. If you don't get a retracement here, then that's cool. Like, you'll just miss out on the trade. Pull that out in time, and then we end up hitting. It ends up being a very slow model. Very, very slow. And look at where we kind of just get bought up here. Look at where price just becomes inefficient. I haven't even looked at this yet, but I can already guarantee you that this is likely an SMT here. This is likely just manipulation. It's likely turtle suit. Let's see. SMT there. Look, I didn't even know. SMT. The market will not move, or the market will not be this inefficient without an SMT. And that becomes your soup. So if you're just stalking this the whole day, and you're saying, "Oh, I'm just waiting," you know that we can't reverse from accumulation. And this was a very nice AMD model. And this is kind of where I got off live, and I was talking about this. AMD, we cannot reverse from a consolidation. So therefore, this is your manipulation, and then that's your distribution. AMD right there. AMD. So this would have been a very nice model here. Accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Maybe you look to enter here off the confirmed SysD right here. Stop there, and then targeting all the liquidity we still have left. And what I do like about this is also that 15-minute fair value gap. You're expecting internal range liquidity to be met, and that's exactly what ends up happening. We end up offering fair value in terms of this order block, and then we efficiently deliver to that fair value gap. It's unbalanced, and now it's repriced too. It's not rebalanced yet. But yeah, that's a good model that I liked, and I was kind of scouting, but price actually just tended to be a little bit slower here. And I think that we're still delivering towards the draw and liquidity. We're just going to be a little bit slower and a little bit, we're going to take our time with it. You know, there's nothing bad with that. You just got to keep that in mind. Just know what type of conditions we're in. And just say, hey, we're slowing down a little bit here. It's just a little bit slower. So I know that I might go through some drawdown here. But I'm still going to trust the model. I'm still going to look to take market maker model here, and that's what ends up happening. In terms of entry here, fair value gap here off that BPR I like. Also have a fair value gap order block, fair value gap here that I like. Put your stop at this low. You probably would have got stopped out here. But realistically, you might have, yeah, you probably would have got stopped out on this trade here if you took this fair value gap off that retracement. And you could have, it definitely was trickier, a little bit slower, but that's how this Friday is probably going to be. And then I want to zoom out and I want to see what the draw on liquidity is likely going to be in this next week. So right now we have liquidated this high here. And we have all these highs stacked up here. This looks very bullish. But we've just been we've just been kind of accumulating within this range. We're not accumulating, but we've been slowing down a little bit. If we look at ES and YM, ES and YM are showing more strength than NQ. NQ is showing that we're weak. We're weak on NQ. Like, we have now created a fair value gap here on ES. We have now created a fair value gap here on ES. I am not expecting this to hold. I'm not expecting this to hold. We just took buy side, and I'm expecting to maybe see us retrace through this. I don't really think that this fair value gap will hold. I might go over that a little bit more Sunday if we have a Sunday MMXM review. But I'm expecting us to kind of break through this and kind of just work our way through this fair value gap. Because I don't think that we need to really hold this. We take in buy side, but we do have these stacked highs up here. This looks like too big of a deep retracement for me to validate that we're in sell side of the curve. This clearly looks bullish. We've taken this low here within this order block. We've gotten displacement higher, pull back, and then now we've just been displacing higher. So I don't think there's any need to be bearish right now, in my opinion. Look at Dow. Dow has displaced through this inverse. We're using it as inverse. We're also using these fair value gaps. Dow looks like we want to head to new highs. And that's kind of what I see. Let's look at dollar just real quick. So dollar actually like to be bullish, but we're kind of slowing off here. So I'm not sure. We could kind of slow off here. We have a 4-hour fair value gap. We're kind of just keying off the two imbalances here. We're respecting this imbalance here, and then we're also respecting this imbalance here currently. So I gotta see, kind of slowing down. I would be a little bit more bullish than bearish though. Do you recommend any free indicators? I would say no. All you need is price action. Next week gonna be lit. Yeah, next week we have CPI. Next week is CPI, which I'm kind of excited for. I already went over the economic calendar in the live. Let's see what. So we zoom out. What do we have? We had that Judas. We had a Judas profile today, where we come up into a key level to then have expansion lower to take these lows here. So there could have been a sell here, there could have been a buy here, and then throughout the rest of the day we kind of work our way up to this 15-minute fair value gap. So that's what I really saw today, and that's what kind of stood out to me. We did also have an SMT here with YM, YM. We had SMT here, I believe. You go in your charts and you can look at that for yourself. But yeah, that was also the SMT we had to confirm that kind of smart money reversal. But yeah, that's all I really saw. And in terms of that, I'm gonna head out of here. Hopefully y'all have a good rest of your weekend, and we'll be back. I'll definitely be live for a market maker review sometime Sunday. I do want to backtest Sunday probably, or maybe maybe Sunday. Sunday is Mother's Day, so keep that in mind. I might be live literally late Sunday, but we'll see. I want to do a little backtesting session. Anyways, hopefully y'all have a good rest of your